Welcome to UTB Blogcast number 34 with a slim down cast tonight. We've got Roy from Barry IL and Wayno and me. Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
See, our two Canadians are both sick, so that kind of makes me wonder what they've been doing together.
What happened in Canada?
Yeah, what's really going on up there? Bartron and Dave are missing. Chap's been missing for a few weeks now.
He might be still recovering from the Aussie night out.
So, BlackBerry, the company that's supposed to be dead by now, right?
Yeah.
What's happened this last week? We've got another acquisition. We have BlackBerry holding a job fair for various different jobs. Actually, not too far from me. Wish I was qualified. And again, Marty Beard having to reiterate the same line that they're not leaving the device business. Doesn't strike you as a company that's in trouble, right? When they're hiring and they just keep acquiring company after company.
Yeah, I'd say the turnaround is definitely on the way.
What's that, Wayno?
I'd say the turnaround's definitely on the way. It's happening.
Definitely. I can't wait to hear the next results and see how.
1 month from now, I think, something like that.
Is that it?
End of March.
Then we'll actually see some Priv cells in there. Still don't have the Priv at Verizon. Our biggest carrier here in the United States, we still don't have it.
I thought they were available through all the carriers there now.
Still waiting on Verizon to announce it. We have AT&T and T-Mobile, and I guess we still have Sprint. I think they're still a carrier, but
not important one.
Yeah,
I know
it. Yeah, I don't believe they're going to be picking it up.
Yeah, BlackBerry is a company, just a company. It's not. Company in the I think they've almost finished the turnaround, at least as I see it. They're focusing on enterprise, so people, if they don't see it like all the Chinese manufacturers in stores and heavy marketing, for them, if you're not here, if you're not there, you're dying or bankrupting or whatever. So, you go, Brad.
I'm still here. I'm looking up something now because talking about that turnaround and the strengths that BlackBerry has got me thinking about.
And when you acquire, you hiring new employees and you acquire new companies and you expand your portfolio, it's not a company turnaround. It's a company that living, company that behaving like every other functional company. So for me, the turnaround is almost finished.
I think it's more than just a company that's functioning as normal. I mean, they're growing. You know, I mean, we're watching a lot of the other, we'll say the Android OEMs are they're shrinking right now. You know, they're pulling back, and whereas BlackBerry is growing.
Most of them only sell Android devices. BlackBerry is selling end-to-end solutions, from devices to new IT cybersecurity consulting, best 12, secure smart. This is full solutions, a good technology, watchdogs, ad hoc. I think millions of people using BlackBerry don't even know it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that came out of the interview that Marty Beard and uh, David, I know I'm going to say it wrong, Kleidermacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interview that they had where they listed off a couple things. It was nice to see because we know where BlackBerry was and we know that they've shrunk back and you kind of wonder where they stand and just some of the things I have them listed here. They have approximately 70 government certifications and approvals, more than any other OEM. 10 out of 10 of the largest global banks and law firms use BlackBerry. Top 5 largest healthcare organizations, investment services, oil and gas, and 16 of the G20 governments. I mean, that's what, if we go back to when we first started talking about, or when people first started talking about BlackBerry dumping BB10, we need to understand that all those things that I just listed off, those are BlackBerry 10. Those are BlackBerry 10, and there's some BlackBerry OS still, I'm sure, but they're not BlackBerry Android.
For
At
now,
best.
not.
What's that?
For now, I think in the future we will see governments that use PRIV or whatever the next device will be. So, and from what I know, BlackBerry gonna make Android more secure. They want to make more secure than BB10. So if they will succeed to do that, it will be awesome. It's still surprising that there are organizations that use BBOS.
Yeah.
Very surprising.
When you get into those large secure organizations, they tend to move slow on spending. I'm not hearing any of that, Roy. I don't know if that's on my side or your side.
Yeah, I'm not getting it either.
Okay. I don't know. I think Tim Cook just stole your Wi-Fi.
We've lost your video feed too, Roy.
Ah. We can come back to that. Are we buffering? Yeah, I've got Roy's completely frozen right now. Welcome to UTB Blogcast 34.
Well, while we're waiting for Roy to get his service back, I just wanted to have a quick talk about the PRIV sales in Australia. They're only through Optus. That's the only carrier that's stocking them at the moment. And the 2-3 weeks that it's been on sale, there hasn't been any promotion as far as TV ads, newspapers, or anything like that. So basically, there is no promotion happening. So the general public aren't really aware of it. It is on the Optus website, but it's currently out of stock and has been showing out of stock for ever since the first week that it was released, when it was available for about 5 days and has been out of stock. There is word that a lot of businesses are really catching on to the PRIV. So a lot of the orders that are coming in are mainly going out to big businesses that are buying up the PRIV. So that's a good sign that businesses are starting to adopt the device.
One of the things that's always come up when you hear that they're selling out is, oh, well, from the naysayers, oh, well, they got 10 and they sold out. Any idea of what kinds of numbers we're looking at?
Look, there was talk on the Optus forums about 30 or 40 devices that they were ordering in at a time. I know that's complete rubbish. There's several hundred devices they're ordering at a time. But due to the market share in Australia for BlackBerry, I think both BlackBerry Australia and Optus were caught out or caught off guard with the demand that they're actually getting. And whatever stock they are getting in is basically filling orders that businesses have already made. There are a few consumers that are a little bit disappointed that they can't place pre-orders for the device. But I think Optus are just playing it cautious at the moment and just trying to keep up with the demand that they're getting from businesses at the moment. So I believe they're selling in excess of 100 devices a week. That could be more, could be quite a bit more, but I know that basically as they're coming into stock and available, they're pretty much walking straight out the door to fulfill orders that are already placed.
That's good news. That's real good news. I know up in Canada, I keep getting people sending me photos of advertisements where the carriers have like a Priv standing right alongside the iPhone or the Samsung. Here in the U.S., I haven't really seen, or even that Star Wars ad. That Star Wars ad was great, but I haven't really seen anything like that here in the U.S. I know if you walk into an AT&T store, one of their walls has a giant size image of the Priv on it. And then Robert has his own enterprise account, and he got an email from AT&T sales offering him upgrades, basically. And of course, the very first phone you see in their upgrade offer is the iPhone. That's just what AT&T does. They push that iPhone like that's their only business. But there's 3 phones listed on that, and it was the iPhone, it was the Samsung Galaxy, and the Priv. And I thought that was great. I mean, if they're going to list the 3 phones for upgrade options, to have the Priv be one of those 3, that's a big change for AT&T here.
Do they have the device available in stores there, or is it all online?
The corporate stores do. You walk into a corporate store, they've got the device, they've got it, well, they should have it operating, but I mean it's right there. It's under that wall section that has the giant image of it. But you go into one of these third-party dealers, I've yet to see the Priv at any of those. The little kiosks you see in the mall that's basically a franchise, an AT&T authorized dealer. They don't have it. In fact, I went into one of those shops that it was set up exactly like a corporate AT&T store. It had the Priv on the wall, and I asked for a Priv. I wanted to see if they had it, and the answer I got was, "Oh, it's not out yet." I was like, "No, it is." I pulled it out of my pocket. It's like, it is out. It's right here. Damn, the cat's back again. So yeah, it's kind of hit and miss, and I mean the problem with some of those third-party stores is people don't know the difference between a corporate store or one of those stores. They walk into one of those stores, it says AT&T on the door, and in small print it's got authorized dealer, and you just assume that's corporate AT&T, and it's not even close.
Yeah, okay. So they're not even advertising it in stores. It's only available online or through telesales at the moment with Optus. But even if you ring up, they're still not taking pre-orders from consumers for when the device does actually come back into stock. So it's I think the demand has kind of caught Optus and BlackBerry Australia off guard a little bit. It seems to be selling very well.
So it's not available to consumers yet, Wayno?
it is available to consumers, but basically they're having trouble filling their back orders, and a lot of businesses are ordering the devices in bulk, and that's what they're having trouble keeping up with. So naturally, the businesses are getting the priority over the consumers at the moment, who are only, buying one device here and there. They're looking after the businesses as you'd expect them to do. So hopefully they can get the stocks flowing in quickly and keep the consumers happy as well, because that's another way of getting the device out there and making people aware of it. But considering there's no advertising or marketing as such in Australia, it's doing quite well. I think it's
Speaking of
quite possibly even outselling the Passport. I'd say it's definitely outselling the Passport at this point.
I would say that too here, seeing as how you can't even get the Passport in stores here anymore.
We have Roy back.
Yeah, I'm back. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. In Israel, the PRIV will be enterprise focused. So if you're a consumer, you can buy it online or in the biggest carrier stores, but it will be enterprise focused. So they will be going for business customers, and it will not be in stores like we want to.
But you, speaking of pre-orders, you just opened up your pre-orders, right, Roy?
Yeah, we opened the pre-order just 2 days ago. It's 3 days ago in my time zone. Good response to this, and a lot of users read the site. Even some of them didn't know about the BEHRIAL before this pre-order. And it's nice to see that in a country that with zero market share, there are still people who want the PRIV. I know that a lot of people bought it from the US, from AT&T. Some of them bring it from Europe. Israelis know how to buy things that are not available in our country.
Good.
Yeah. So what I missed?
Heaps.
Not much. We got a request for Wayno to turn up his mic. One of these days, Wayno's got to get a mic, first of all.
Yeah, I have birthday in 2 weeks, something like that, and I will buy a new webcam. Yeah, I want something better, and just connect my computer to the router. So.
Oh, okay. That may have been the issue, but I know you guys need like really good mics, because to speak over Dave and I sometimes that can be a chore. Get yourself a megaphone.
Yeah, I speak quiet. I don't want to wake up my wife.
No one wants that.
Yeah.
I lost track of where we are because everybody keeps disappearing. First Roy, now Wayno. So.
I am here. I'm just trying some headphones out. See if I'm.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a good time for that. So, Apple. I've been spending a lot of time fighting in comments of other sites. Not really fighting. I'm just dispersing information. How about that? I'm educating the masses. One of the things that I thought was kind of interesting was, well, iMore. You know, Mobile Nations, iMore, the Apple site. They put out a Stand with Apple cause, which I don't think they were actually the ones that started the Stand with Apple, but they were putting out T-shirts and promoting it on their site. And you know, UTB Brad, being the UTB asshole that he is, decided to throw up a Stand Against Apple post and make T-shirts available for anybody that wants those. But I went back and I looked at that post a few days later, and it shocked me that, you know, maybe it's just part of the Mobile Nation's curse, but half of those comments on that post were anti-Apple. You know, and then a few days later we see that survey where the majority of the American public, they were saying that they surveyed, were against it.
51%.
So it's, yeah. And even the ones that were for it was much lower. It wasn't, there was more than one answer on that survey. I wasn't like 34%, something like that was actually
38% with Apple, and all the others didn't have any idea what they are thinking.
right.
They're on the fence.
So that kind of makes me feel a little better about my nation anyway. That, I mean, there's a lot of loud people out there, and I mean even some of the tweets and things that we've done on our posts, we've got some lashback from people on Twitter. Even on my own channel, I had somebody kind of jump in there. So obviously the loud ones are the ones that get heard. We all know that is just a matter of fact. But I really don't see Apple, you know, I don't know how to put it. I think they're standing alone on this. You know, that this is something that's going to come down to having the public on your side. And they don't have it. I mean, I think they chose, I see their point. They want to have this conversation about encryption and what they have to do and what they don't have to do. I think choosing a terrorist attack as their cause for bringing it to the public was a bad decision.
Yeah, I don't think they are standing alone, because a lot of companies like WhatsApp and Facebook, it's the same company, but they're standing behind them. What makes me more sure that I decided that they are wrong, that Bill Gates released a comment about it, and he against Apple on this matter, and the fact that we talked about last week, when it comes to terror attack, they must unlock the phone. It's not a backdoor. People doesn't understand that if the government want a backdoor for Apple, I will stand with Apple on this case. I against backdoor on devices. But to unlock a particular phone, I think they have no problem to do it. I think any hacker, any engineer can hack this phone. It's an iPhone. It's not a it's not a spaceship. It's not something that you can't unlock it. So it's really awkward that nobody unlocked it yet.
Okay, like Bill Gates, I watched the interview. There's no denying what he said. However, the very next day he tried to deny what he said. You know, what a lot of these tech companies are doing are riding the line, and we know as BlackBerry fans, the media, mainstream media, is very Apple biased. I go back to, I talked about it last week, about what the CEO of Twitter said. I could argue as much that he was against Apple as everybody's saying he's on their side, because I mean what it comes down to is Tim Cook's letter is the definition of a straw man argument, a straw man fallacy. You know, he was asked for a puppy, and he's arguing that he's not going to give an elephant. You know, he's completely arguing that we're not going to do what he was never asked to do in the first place. So, like, what these companies are doing is they're coming out and they're agreeing with his letter. You know, Apple shouldn't be forced to hack their product and put a backdoor into it. They're agreeing with that. And honestly, I would agree with that. There shouldn't be a backdoor in it. We don't want Dropout Jeep Part 2. However, all these companies are also stating that they will comply with lawful access. They will help the government. So, I mean, they would totally be willing to do exactly what the government is asking them to do, exactly what the court order is asking them to do. But at the same time, no, we don't want to put backdoors into our product. So, I mean, you can agree with both sides, because Tim Cook took what was asked of him and ran a completely different direction with it. Is that logical?
Yeah. For me, when it's come to the law, if there is a court order that asks Apple to do something, they must do it. Otherwise, they're breaking the law. And it's more important that the backdoor, not backdoor, encryption, terror attack, or whatever. There is a court order. If you will break into the law and the court order, you will be sent to jail. So I don't know what they're thinking about it, where they're doing it.
Well, it's a weird and drawn out issue, because it's not just your standard search warrant. A search warrant would be easy, but the issue is that they really can't serve a search warrant on this because of the encrypted lock on it and the 10 swipe deletion and all that fun stuff. That's the issue. That's why they are using this all writs law, which, again, Apple and Apple supporters keep jumping on this. Oh, it's a 200-year-old law. I don't care what this law is. The law is very simple, and that all it does is grant courts the ability to make a court order. That's nothing extreme. That's nothing that should be outdated. You know, the laws against murder are older than that law. The Constitution that Apple is now going to use as their defense against this is older than that law. The age of the law means nothing when it's a valid law, and in this case, it's a very valid law. It's used.
It only means that in 200 years ago, there were smart people who thought about it and predicted what could happen in the future. I saw a comment from the FBI that some of the executives of the FBI said that they are not looking for Apple software or techniques or whatever they called it, and they just want the phone unlocked. They don't want the backdoor. They don't want the access to all iPhones. I think iPhone and the iCloud is less secure, so the FBI can access without Apple. But this matter is that the phone is unlocked with the numeric password, right? So the FBI little bit challenged here, and they need
That's one of the things that came up over this last week is one of Apple's defenses, and one of the things that one of the executives told you know, without identifying themselves, of course, but threw out there that the FBI screwed up. They changed the Apple ID password on this thing, and it would have all been fixed had they not done that, because they're stating that, you know, they could have taken that iPhone to a known Wi-Fi, and it would have backed up to the iCloud, and then they could have just went and got the information off the iCloud. So, two things. Number one, I think that logic is completely flawed, because the last iCloud backup on that phone was, what, 2 to 3 weeks before the incident. You can't tell me that this guy hadn't brought his work phone into a known Wi-Fi area in that time. It would have backed up. It didn't. So I think it's pretty safe to say that he turned that function off.
Yeah.
So even if they hadn't have changed that password, it still wouldn't have been backing up. So we'd still be in the same position. The other issue I see with that is how free they are about the fact that anybody can jump into their iCloud and take their information.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, well, they could have just got it straight from the iCloud, you know, along with all the celebrity nudes. It would be no issue.
But I think it comes down to getting the information legally too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That keeps coming up. I would have to hear that from somebody, because as I keep saying, this is a terrorist investigation. This isn't a criminal investigation. You know, it goes by a completely different set of laws. I don't know if getting it, quote, legally would really matter in a case against terrorists. God, I hope it doesn't. You know?
I think the FBI have talented engineers that can unlock this phone if they want in a legal way. But the FBI still decided to do it the legal way and go to the court and ask Apple to help them. So it means something. I know the US is panic about all the surveillance and after Snowden and WikiLeaks and.
But if that information is accessed illegally, does that take away the fact that it can be used as evidence in court if it's been obtained illegally? How's this microphone now? Is this better?
You sound great.
Yeah,
you should have done this weeks ago.
The good old BlackBerry headset, mate. The first time I've used it, I just cracked it out of the box. This is my passport one. I don't use them. But they're actually quite comfortable, so...
You know what? I don't know if anybody had anything more to say about Apple, but we got tweeted a question when we were speaking earlier about BlackBerry and devices. Ivan, go ahead.
Q&A.
Q&A, there you go. Ivan asked, this is while we were talking about BlackBerry and the future of BlackBerry. Oh, and he says you sound much better, Wayne. Oh man, he's hitting us with so many questions. Thanks, Ivan. Let me just jump back real quick, and I'll give a quick answer on this as far as what we know from what we've heard through the rumor mill, and that's it. Nothing official. He asked earlier, so is the direction of Android, or is the direction of BlackBerry now Android, or question mark? And here's the thing, the direction of BlackBerry this year is obviously Android. The direction of BlackBerry headset division, the device business, the ultimate goal of that is to be in the black again. You know, it's to make money. Once BlackBerry's making money, I don't know any BlackBerry employees that are sitting there excited about making Android phones, personally. You know, that they are the ones that we know are BlackBerry fans just like us, and they love BlackBerry 10. And even even Chen said it in an earlier interview that he hopes to make a BlackBerry 10 phone again. But the point right now is to be profitable, and the road to profitability is Android right now. We know that if the Priv would have come out with BlackBerry 10 on it, as much as I hate saying it, it wouldn't have sold. It wouldn't have made money. You know, no matter how fierce we BlackBerry 10 fans are, there's just not enough of us. There's not enough of us to keep the company afloat. So BlackBerry is thinking...
We would have been happy, though.
Oh, we would have been exceptionally happy, but it probably would have been the last BlackBerry phone we owned.
Yeah.
So I fully expect that once BlackBerry is in the black again, as far as the device business, because I think BlackBerry is in the black again, and I think it's just going to be getting better. I hope we see that on the next earnings call, that we're all good. It's full charge ahead. But when that happens, I think that we will see more BlackBerry 10 devices. What I'm hoping for is that we see a new debut of it. You know, bring it out and promote it and show it the way it should have been the first time. You know, change the name of it. I don't care. I just want my BlackBerry 10. You know, if they want to brand it a QNX phone, or if they want to brand it something else, great, as long as it's our BlackBerry 10.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
I think we're going to see that, and I don't think it's that far off. I think it's a lot farther off than any BlackBerry 10 fan wants it to be. But I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see another, let's say, non-Android BlackBerry phone next year.
Yeah, I've heard rumours early 2017. But again, just rumours.
And here's another question. That this goes back to an argument that I got into on my channel. Not an argument. It was a friendly discussion where I may have been throwing stuff, but the person I was speaking to didn't know I was throwing stuff. How would this have played out if the device was a BlackBerry? And this is something that, yeah, this was said on our channel, or on my channel. This has been said on Twitter a few times. It wouldn't have played out this way at all. Before this all started, when we were just starting to get hints of what was going on with Apple and their ideas of encryption and throwing away the key, John Chen put out a blog post explaining exactly what they do with it. And it all comes down to lawful access on a case-by-case basis with due process. So if
no backdoor.
No backdoor. Absolutely no backdoors. But if this would have been a BlackBerry phone, and the government would have came up with a warrant saying open this phone, I have no doubt BlackBerry would have opened this phone. Same sort of thing that happened, and I mean, we can use Pakistan as an example. Pakistan wanted a backdoor. They wanted unfettered access to BlackBerry communications. BlackBerry said no and was leaving the country. And then Pakistan decided to agree with lawful access. This wouldn't be playing out like this right now if it was BlackBerry. And I keep saying that it's being a good neighbor. You know, it's looking out for lives, in all honesty. Apple's looking at this as a marketing ploy. Look around the internets right now. Look at all these blog posts. Look at Twitter. Look at people's opinion pieces. Everybody right now is saying that Apple has the best encryption. They're such safe phones that even the FBI can't break into them. This is great for Apple. This is great for Apple twofold, because they got the world thinking that they've got safe phones. Never mind the fact that they've got more security flaws than the other platforms combined. And then at the same time, when they do open the phone, the next time they have a hack, they can blame it on the government.
Hmm.
In the end, they will they will unlock the phone. They don't have any choice.
Or leave the country. I would be happy with that. Pull a
I will
BlackBerry.
be happy too.
Pull a BlackBerry. They don't want to abide by the laws of the country. Leave. That's fine. They're already based out of Ireland, right?
Yeah, if Trump will be the president, so it's a scenario that we can predict. Oh,
He'll
what a
build
weird country you are when Donald
he'll
Trump
build a
can be the
moat
president.
around Apple.
A country that Donald Trump can be a president is a weird country.
Have you ever been driving down the road and you hit like a wet spot and you swerve, or you swerve not to hit like a deer in the road, and so you hit to the right, but then you got to hit to the left and you end up hitting to the left way too far and spinning out? That's what the country's doing right now. We're trying to correct our past mistake, and we're way overcorrecting. There's my political speech for today. We're spinning out of control, guys. We're spinning out.
Next question, please.
Yeah, I think that was all the questions.
He said a lot of questions. 2 questions is not a lot.
Hey, for us, that's a lot. People don't typically ask. And Dave is BBMing me, and I'm thinking he's got a really high fever, and doesn't know what he's saying. But it's Dave, so it could just be regular Dave. I don't know.
So,
He actually
BlackBerry
did
is hiring.
BBM.
Go ahead.
If we continue to talk about BlackBerry, so BlackBerry is hiring new employees
Yes.
near you.
Near me.
Yeah.
When's your interview?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I'm not qualified. You know what's
Yeah.
funny, though, is I have a friend that works at Apple, and he hit me up several months ago asking what that BlackBerry building was, because he drives by it every now and then. And it's like, I don't know. I didn't even realize there was a BlackBerry building here. And here there is a job fair going on. I should call him up and tell him to go apply at a real company that's not in the terrorist activities.
They are hiring in a variety of positions like marketing, software, good technology, ad hoc, engineers. It's good to see the company expand, and after all the cutting, the cutting off, it's looking like they're back on track.
Well, that was one of the things the press release, or actually not, it wasn't a press release, but the response to inquiries on their last round of layoffs came back that they're a company in transition, and there's areas that they need to cut back on, but they're growing in other areas. It completely makes sense for a company in the middle of a turnaround that some areas you have to shave back, and you need to build up the areas that you're moving ahead in.
Yeah, and a new acquisition of a UK-based company, a cybersecurity consulting firm. It's interesting that BlackBerry is now a cybersecurity consulting.
It all ties in. I mean, you look, they started out as a secure phone, and now they're getting into, I would say, even more areas than just software. But it all comes back to security and privacy. Even their Android phone, they've made that secure. As they've got good, they've got. I'm trying to. Unix is all about security and safety. It all comes back to one thing. And is there any other company out there that's building this base that BlackBerry has been building? I don't think there is. And you look, I mean, one of the things that this whole Apple story is bringing to the forefront of the news right now is privacy and security. People are going to start realizing that. BlackBerry's going to be in a great place. Are you playing with your microphone, Lena? We lost
him. Yeah. It's a weird evening for you. Weird morning for me. Yeah.
I don't even know what time of day it is for Wayno over there.
They are on Saturday already, I think, almost noon on Saturday.
Hey, Wayno's back.
Yeah.
So anything else, guys? I know that there's less of us, so we went through things a lot quicker, and we didn't have a lot of the Dave jokes. Damn it, Dave.
I don't have anything else. It's been a very quiet week, even with the Mobile World Congress. Lot of partnership, ShareCare, nothing that.
You got me back now?
Yes, Wayno, we do.
Well, I'll blame you for that because you sent me a message to tell me to turn the mic up. I've never used this damn thing before, and next minute I had music playing.
Wayno, look at the timestamp on that. I sent you that message way back when Ivan first said that you were quiet.
Okay, Wayno.
Was that before I had? Was that before I had the mic in or not?
It was before. And here's another question, Ivan. You need to come on the blogcast. You really do. I'd love to have you on here sometime. The users of BlackBerry think about security, but do they trust cloud storage, Box, OneDrive, Dropbox, etc.? Easy answer just from our comments. A lot of them don't. We get a lot of comments where people don't trust the other cloud services either. And thankfully for those people, we've got really big SD cards in our phones. But I use the clouds. I use the clouds a lot. I just don't use them for anything that I would consider confidential.
Yeah, and
I've got my media libraries in my cloud.
BlackBerry just partnered with a company. They announced it on MWA. I don't remember the name. I will check it. I think Clarity or Clarency or what the hell. I will check it. That they give secure cloud services. They secure clouds identifications. Damn this internet. Centrify. They partnered with Centrify, companies that give you secure your identity. Yeah. Secure your identity in cloud storage services. So even BlackBerry thought about it, about the users that use cloud services.
Even Go ahead.
I was just going to say I only use it for wallpapers, things like that I tend to share with people. I wouldn't upload any of my personal files, personal photos. All that's turned off. I don't upload any of that, even on the computer. Once I save new pictures and things like that to the computer and it wants to update them to Dropbox, I turn all that off. So nothing goes to Dropbox that I don't want to share with other people. And if I'm willing to share it, then it doesn't matter how far that gets out. But mainly it's just wallpapers, things like that.
Yeah, I've got a lot of cloud accounts. I really do, and then I've got my own personal hardware cloud here in my house. And yeah, I've
Can
got
we
my
hack that?
music. I'll give you something better than that, but they I've got my music on it, I've got my movies on it, I've got things like that, things that are not private and confidential and anyone can take. Now, my initial personal cloud, it's a WD My Cloud. Love that thing. It's great, and I use it to transfer things from device to device, media. And it's set up with its own password, and I can grant other users access to it, and all this fun stuff. And I feel all secure because it's in my house, as opposed to some server that who knows where it's at. Until my house was broken into a few months back, and they stole my cloud.
I was just about to say that.
That's exactly what happened. So I'm on my second one now because they stole my first one. But they basically got all my music and movies and all of the old blogcasts. They didn't get any of my information. No, nothing, none of that on there.
You'll find them uploaded soon. They'll be all over the internet.
Yeah, I only have very IL stuff on. I think it's Dropbox. Nothing else. In my channel pop photos that I managed, my new channel, Women Athletic. If you want to join, search it in BBM channels. Good channel. So basically, all my important stuff, documents, are in my wife's PC, not on mine. That's how I.
You don't trust yourself.
I don't.
Where are you surfing, Roy?
I don't trust my PC to be secure, so all the important stuff on my
It's all
wife's
those dodgy sites you're visiting, Roy.
No denials from Roy.
Yeah, he went quiet then, didn't he?
So Dave wants to know what we think BlackBerry's next move is.
It's hard to tell. They just made a move with the acquisition.
Well, why don't we get Dave on to answer that?
You don't want to know what he just told me, so I didn't want to know what he just told me either.
Maybe BlackBerry can secure drones or other gadgets that people buying those days.
Washing machines and vacuum cleaners. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they've got this great groundwork for the IoT, which could literally be anything.
Imagine your secure iRobot secured by BlackBerry. Nobody can hack your iRobot and get
I'd like to see him get back into a tablet with a keyboard, pop-out keyboard, 10-inch, something like that. That way I can get rid of this damn iPad.
And there's the reason we haven't been able to hear Wayno for the last few weeks.
This is it.
He's got an iProduct in his house.
But you plug in the BlackBerry headset and it's all good.
See, that just shows just how accepting we are at UTB, that we allow Wayno to be here even though he still owns an iProduct.
Yeah, but it's only used for the blogcast. That's it.
Yeah.
I really have no idea where they will head next. I mean, I look at their last few acquisitions, and I mean, wherever they head next, we can say it's going to be IoT, it's going to be security, privacy. Beyond that, it could be anything. They're thinking way outside the box. They're jumping into laterals I never thought they would be jumping into.
Yeah, but buying another cybersecurity company, startup, something like this can be very. It can be the next move of BlackBerry. They need to be not just consulting, but even to offer the cybersecurity solutions, not just consulting.
I'd like to see him go in and open up that iPhone.
I saw that McAfee, this weird guy, wants to open
He's
the
a bit
phone.
out there.
A lot of weirdos in the US. What
Hey.
happened to the great country?
I can't even make a Canadian joke because our Canadians aren't here today. I was gonna say that they're coming down from up north, but without Dave and Ian here, then it's just me making fun of someone that's not here.
And half the fun's having Dave respond to that.
Exactly. No fun making fun of people when they're not here.
Especially when he's sick too.
But I want to see BlackBerry get BBM application on PCs, or even make move to the PC world. Maybe.
I saw you say that in our forums, Roy, and I'm not.
I'm
still stuck in my old ways.
I have my sources.
But I'm talking about, okay, would I use it? No. And the reason that I loved Bridge on the playbook, the reason I love Blend, is because I don't take my computer with me everywhere. I take my phone with me. And when I walk away from my computer, everything I just did on BBM through Blend, or what I used to do on my playbook through Bridge, it goes with me. It stays with me, and I don't have to worry about something being left behind.
Okay, two things.
I love that aspect.
Two things.
Sorry, go ahead, Roy.
First, that the only the bridge is here only because Lazaridis was so enthusiastic to release the playbook before, because the engineers told him that if you want a native email app on the playbook, it will take another few months, and Lazaridis wants the playbook out in 5 months. So the bridge is a compromise of Lazaridis. The second thing, if you are an enterprise worker and you work with your laptop or a PC at work, and you use BBM on your computer, imagine that when they're going off, it's still with them, and it will be BBM for enterprise, a secure solution on PCs, even if you don't have BlackBerry 10 device, because the Blend working only on BlackBerry 10 devices, and not for Android or iOS. But I know this kind of thing is in testing for a few months.
I could see it from a commercial point of view because, they are competing against WhatsApp and all these others that don't care about that aspect. It's a personal thing. I would prefer to see Blend grow. I would like to see Blend on the Priv. I would like to see it offered up to the others more so than seeing a standalone Windows application for BBM.
Here now, my phone is on bedside mode near my bed, and I'm texting you with the Blend on my PC.
Exactly.
I'd like to see BBM sync across multiple devices.
Yeah.
If you have, let's say, an iPad, well, like myself,
horrible.
Look at the looks I'm getting from Brad. That's a death stare.
You're cruising, Wayno. You're cruising so hard.
But from the Priv to the Z30, rather than having a different ID for different devices, just having the one ID. That way, I whatever device I tend to pick up at the time, the Priv, the Z30, it's there in one synchronized chat, rather than having to go into different IDs. For instance, with the UTB group, the Priv's not on that, so to catch up on that, I've always got to have the passport. If I'm playing with the Priv at the time, I've got to put that down and go to the passport because someone hasn't invited the Priv to the UTB group yet.
Well, I'm afraid you just wrote Priv on your iPad, and that's not allowed in the group.
Yeah. No, that's not. It is actually the Priv. But, I mean, in the group, that kind of doubles. I mean, if everyone has got a Priv and a BB10 device, you're doubling up on the amount of members in the group, which kind of gives you a false indicator of how many are in the group. If you could have that one ID synced across multiple devices so that it didn't matter what you picked up, like I said, the Priv, the iPad, desktop, Z30, whatever it is, it's there without having to create another ID and another account for that.
I hope BlackBerry will do it, but I think it has security issues.
That death stare, look at
Yeah, death face.
Well, I mean, I get it. From a commercial standpoint, it's more important that BlackBerry makes money than anything right now, and people want that. People wanted that for a long time. I like the idea that your pin is to your device. You know, it's like my UTB Brad is stuck to my passport, and you know, if I change devices, then it goes to that other device. But you know, I'm not sharing that ID with my computer and my Priv and my tablet and blah 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 blah. I like it that way.
But the only money they're making off that is stickers, and which, you know, if I'm buying stickers, which I very rarely do, it's on the passport because that's my main device. The Priv, okay, I put BBM protected on that, and also the privacy and security. So there is an extra subscription there, I suppose. But as far as stickers, I'm not buying all those stickers on the Priv. I just don't feel the need for them. I can see where you're getting at, but having that separate ID or the separate pin for each device. But I still think to me, it'd be better if they could tie all those pins into one BlackBerry ID. So rather than signing in with a pin, you're signing in with a BlackBerry ID. If someone sends you an invite, they don't have to send the invite to 3 or 4 devices. They send it to your BlackBerry ID, and that gets spread across all devices. That's the thought I've got behind that anyway. Shoot me down now.
I'm not. I mean, from a commercial standpoint, yeah, to be able to share the pin, I think would be good for BlackBerry. It'd make them more competitive with the consumer market. But just old farts like me, I don't want to see it. Damn it. But no, I get it. It's just like going Android. I didn't want to see that either. But it's good for the company. So yeah, hopefully they do it. But God, you had mentioned replacing Blend, and I don't want to see that at all, because Blend is much more than sharing my BB ID to my device. I use Blend for a lot more than that.
Okay.
I did hear that there was no talk of bringing Blend to the Priv, so I hope they look at that down the track. I think, and this is where I think BlackBerry could do really well, is bring in a lot of their apps across, especially the apps that they've got on the Priv, such as DTech for one. A lot of people on Android devices don't see what we're seeing as far as what apps are doing through DTech. I think that'd be a killer app, whether that be on a Samsung, a HTC. They should be making those apps available for all the Android devices. I think they do really well out of that. The Hub is another one. The Hub's only an app. Why can't they bring that across to Samsung? I think there's a lot of people out there that would.
They need to keep the Priv unique. If those apps will be available on other OEMs, so what will keep?
Well, the Priv's still unique in the fact that it hasn't been rooted yet. It's still the most secure Android device out there. I think that.
But your typical consumer right now isn't concerned about security, or else the iPhone wouldn't be that popular, or the Samsung.
Well, that's right. So if they're not going to buy the Priv for security, why not sell them the apps? You're not going to sell them the phone, sell them the apps. Sell them the Hub, sell them DTech.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think right now what like the Priv has going for it is the dual keyboards, you know, that screen, and then those BlackBerry apps. I think that's what's going to draw people in. As much as we like the security, we love bragging that it's the first Android phone that hasn't been rooted for this long. I mean, we know it's secure, and we can joke about it and tease the other users, but those other users don't care about that. You know, the Samsung and the iPhone, the Samsung Galaxy and the iPhone are the two most popular phones, and they do not have any history in security, regardless of what's going on in the media right now.
But
so
how many people?
typical,
how many people have you showed your Priv or your Passport to that really like the Hub? But they're not going to buy a BlackBerry just for the sake of the Hub. But they would like that on their iPhone, or they'd like that on their Samsung. Why not sell them that app? They're not going to go out and buy a BlackBerry device specifically for that. They prefer their Samsung, they prefer their iPhone. Why not make the Hub available and sell it, make money off that? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there. The Hub is a classic example. You know, DTech's a different thing with security. A lot of those users don't care about that, but the Hub is one killer feature of BlackBerry.
Exactly. It's a draw to a phone that needs draws to a phone. BlackBerry doesn't have the name out there in the market that Samsung and Apple do. That's the issue. We've got to build up the name. We need people to understand that BlackBerry is still here, still surviving, still putting out phones, and is growing. But once people get that into their head, that they're not going out of business, that it's not uncool to have a BlackBerry anymore, then you need to draw them into the devices. If you sell those apps to anybody, what's going to draw them into the device? Not security.
Mm.
I mean, I think those apps
I can see two sides to it. Yeah. I see where you're coming from.
I can't. You're wrong. No, I'm joking. No, because I think the original intention, and I mean they said that, was to make those apps available to enterprise customers as a BlackBerry suite. We haven't seen that happen yet. I just don't. I don't know.
Well, maybe they've held off for that reason that you say, to draw people into the Priv. Maybe that's the reason they've held off on that, because you're right. That was mentioned that there was going to be a BlackBerry suite of apps. So maybe that's the reason they have held off on that.
I don't know. Roy is very quiet right now, clicking away.
Yeah, I'm thinking. In some way, it's good that BlackBerry will make iOS app to iOS users and sell it for $3 or something like that. And when I'm thinking about it, I want to see BlackBerry make themselves more unique, using BBM as a way to expand and make the name BlackBerry good again. And I think why not on devices that the BBM is pre-installed when you set up the first time, when setting up the phone for the first time, why you can setting up the BBM as part as you're setting up devices the first time you open the device. And then even your iOS users that bought the Priv for the first time, you move to Android, and then before you even install WhatsApp, you will be able to setting up a BBM account.
I don't think we'll ever see that with Apple. Apple purposely handicapped BBM.
No, I don't talk about
They're not going to pre-install it on an iPhone.
Yeah, but I talk about the Priv. If you're an Apple user, an iPhone user, and you bought the Priv, and you're setting up the device, and you don't know about BBM, it's a BlackBerry phone. BBM, it's something that need to be integrated into the phone. So when you
oh, I see.
Setting up the device at the first time, BBM must be setting up at the same time. Otherwise, you can have the icon, but you never use it.
That's true. That should. You're absolutely right. That should be mandatory on any BlackBerry phone.
Yeah.
What actually surprised me was on the Inside BlackBerry blog this week, they had a post there with
five apps, messaging
apps, and WhatsApp was in there. That really had me beat. Why would you list the opposition app as one of the apps to download?
You know what I think they're doing? I think they're just. There's been a few articles like that that's had me wondering, and I think the point of those articles is to get the point across that the Priv will run all these apps. You know, there's no app gap with the Priv. But at the same time, you know, I would have much rather seen them shit on 4 of those messaging apps than point out that you can install it on your BlackBerry device, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that did come across as a shock. Yes.
Yeah. I think they need to make BBM more easy to use for new users, or they need to think about something besides my family that I convert to BBM. It's very hard to convert new people or people that used to WhatsApp to use BBM. They need to think about something that would make more easier to add contacts or something.
You know what I'd like to see? Something real simple. You know, we can add people by that code, that QR code. Yeah. But at the same time, I keep, you know, even on our Spotlight, Eric has been doing the BBM channels, and she's gonna be mad at me right now. But this also explains why I haven't been adding them. She sends me the QR code as to be part of the video, and I haven't been including them because I kind of expect the fact that someone's going to be watching those showcases on their BlackBerry phone. You can't scan it while you're watching it on your phone. You know, it'd be nice if they'd make it to where if you get an image of a QR code, you could read that and add. You know, even if it's on your screen, as opposed to having to scan it with your camera.
Hmm. Well, it's the same with BBM, isn't it? When you invite to BBM, you got the option there to invite by QR code.
Right, but you have to actually be standing there with them and scan it. Yeah. Which I've done that before. You know, when I get my friends to install it for the first time, I'm generally standing there forcing them threatening them until they've got it installed, and then I show them my code and say, here, scan this.
Yeah. But you're right, yeah, an app that would recognize that QR code on the screen would be ideal.
Yeah. I think we've hit about that time. You guys have anything else you want to throw in there?
No, not really.
No.
This is weird. I think this blogcast, I think all of us are sitting here thinking for the last few minutes, and that doesn't do very well for listeners.
Yeah.
And we've all got each other thinking now, and we're all just looking off into the distance going, huh.
Yeah, we can talk
It's
about
much better
for a few more hours, but with no topics, it's very hard to focus on something.
Well, we had our Aussie group night out last Friday, which was a fantastic night. There was 9 of us from different parts of Australia that turned up, and that was a great night. And there was a couple of shots there taken of all the blackberries on the table. I think it's the most ever blackberries I've seen in Australia in one spot. I think half the blackberries in Australia were there that night.
Okay, I have something. After we saw Brad posts about the priv and how we fell in love in a romantic way.
I wouldn't go that far.
Bueno, what is your opinion about the priv? How did you impress?
I like it. Who was that, for me or Brad?
Yeah, go.
You, Wayno. Brad, I know what you
Okay.
think about the priv.
Look, I like it, but I constantly find I'm picking up the passport. I try to make myself pick up the priv, and what I'm going to do is when I get home from work, I'm going to put the passport aside, lock it away in the bedroom, and same on the weekends, and I'm going to force myself to use the priv because it's just habit. I just keep picking up the passport. It's just I love the size of the screen. I love the size of the keyboard. I've after 12, 14 months with the passport, I'm finally getting used to the keyboard. And I do find the keyboard on the priv cramped, and I find I'm constantly looking at it to see what I'm typing. Apart from that, I love the screen. The screen's amazing. It's just I just keep coming back to the passport, and that just I've really got to try and show the priv some more love. I love the device, and I think it's fantastic, but I just cannot, for the life of me, give up the passport. So I am going to try and, because I'm using the passport for work, I am going to try and put it aside when I get home and concentrate more on the priv. But overall, I'm very happy with it. Lovely device.
Nice to hear. You hear, Brad?
I'm here. I hear.
He's thinking again.
Because I mean, obviously, I'm not in love like you say, Roy. The priv is a great second phone, and to be honest, it's a better third phone. I need another SIM for my Classic because that Classic I need to get back on that. But you just got to find something that you like about it. I found something I liked about it, and
the Google
for me,
apps.
it's no. The Google apps I wrote about today are things that make me able to use the priv, as opposed to being frustrated not being able to use it. But it's the keyboard, and it's. I'm not going to say it's as good a keyboard as the Passport. There's no way I'm going to say it's as good a keyboard as the Classic. The Passport to me isn't as good a keyboard as the Classic, but it's also the first keyboard that for me it's fun to swipe on. So
yeah.
So like I'm actually having fun typing swiping on that keyboard, that's what's pulling me back to the Priv, and that's what has got me looking for things to where I can use the Priv the same as I can the Passport. I'm not there yet.
Funnily enough, I find I'm using the on-screen keyboard more than the physical.
I was too.
Yeah.
I'm not now.
Yeah, that's another thing I've got to force myself to do is slide it open and use that physical keyboard. That's what I probably am having the most difficulty with on it. Going back to the fourth row, and I do find the buttons a little bit small, and getting on, I'm probably losing a bit of my eyesight's not as good as what it used to be. So I find I'm kind of looking at the keyboard to see where the symbols and things are. I keep forgetting about the swiping down to bring up the symbols up the top of the screen or onto the screen. So yeah, I am finding I'm using the on-screen keyboard more than the physical one. There's that look again.
No, I was too. I think I went the first probably month on that thing without actually using the physical keyboard. And I said it in one of the earlier blogcasts, it was impossible for me to move from my Passport keyboard to the Priv keyboard. It was, I couldn't do it. But moving from the Passport keyboard to the Classic keyboard was easy. And then moving from the Classic keyboard to the Priv was easy. So maybe I'm a loon. I don't know. It could be something in my head. But the Classic is what got me started using the Priv key.
That's what kind of makes me feel like, or takes me back to the days of the Z10 and the Z30, that on-screen keyboard. And I happened to pick up a Leap today that I was given. The only downfall with it is the screen is smashed into 1,000 pieces. So I've got to look at getting that screen replaced. At this point,
or just tell people it's the new iPhone.
Well, yeah. Actually, my son, he got a shock. He saw it sitting on the table, and he come out. He says, "Oh, Dad, don't tell me you dropped your new phone." No, thank God. So yeah, it was a friend of a friend's phone that got dropped, and he couldn't really find anywhere to repair it. So I'm looking at ordering a screen from eBay, which is about $90. And I've got nothing to lose. It didn't cost me anything, so I'll pay for the screen and look at doing it myself. I think, give it a crack, literally. But it's a nice device too. I love the grip on the back of it, so it actually feels quite nice in the hand.
I wish we had the Leap for sale here. I wish our carriers would have picked it up. I think that would have done better with consumers than the Classic, to be honest. It's a great looking phone.
It is.
I love the looks of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys, let's call it. We're all deep in our thoughts, and Ivan keeps sending me questions. I'm kidding.
We've done well to last this long.
What's that?
We've done well to last this long.
Yeah, I'm really glad Ivan did that. We've got to come up with some method to where people can communicate to us on here. We tried a chat before, but whatever program plugin we used brought down the site, so we don't want to use that one again.
Well, the Twitter feed seems to work. Why not just announce that at the start? Yeah, so get them to tweet in the questions, and we'll discuss it.
Brett, you Q&A section.
We'll just we'll give everybody Roy's pin, and they can just BDM him directly.
That sounds fair.
I will answer in Hebrew. Nobody will understand what I'm writing.
They'll be like, "Oh, wrong number."
It's spam again from Indonesia.
All right, guys, let's call it. Hopefully next week the Canadians are alive, and hopefully by next week someone will have heard from Chap again. Last we heard from Chap was he was taking a very long drive to meet up with Wayno, and we never saw him again. So,
what are you blaming me for that now, are you?
It makes me suspicious. But what happened to Chap?
I say nothing.
Okay, good night, guys.
Good night.
See you later, fellas.